A dark lesbian fairy tale. On wings bringing sleep is the story of Morgaine, an outcast among the Fae. As her people's power is ever dwindled by the advance of human technology. When she meets a mysterious and enthralling human girl within the forest one day, Morgaine grows certain that this girl is in need of her magical protection. But Ilse has secrets of her own, and the growing feelings between them may cost more than either girl might ever pay. Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and yes, we continue our journey through Studio Elon games that were released recently for their own inside of the company game jam, basically 4 games. The first one we played yesterday, Yuri Paddle Anime Convention Murder Mystery, super interesting one. Today we are sitting to the second installment. I mean, when it comes to the jam, I guess, yeah. But yeah, second game, and we'll see what the people at Studio Elon cooked with this one. The following story contains implied domestic abuse, explicit violence, animal death, and toxic lesbianism. I mean, yeah, I mean, we are not people that would like run away from those topics, okay? I might be playing some stupid games, but listen, serious topic, I'm jumping in as well. Absolutely. Because usually a serious topic means a good story. Usually. I guess it depends on the developer, but yeah. Let's go. Read the discretion advice and do not try this at home. Oh, I don't plan to, don't worry about that. No. In a sense, you're fortunate. One loss that you will never feel slip through your grasp is what it was to be gods. Of course, the title was given to us by those who didn't understand. The folk have never had deities of our own. These condemned to such short lives, perhaps, can only view any who live longer than them as abominations. But when humanity first came to this land, they saw what were enthralled, and in their awe they prayed to remain insignificant to our eyes. Not a night went by that was not spent in revelry, and changelings danced among us nearly as numerous as ourselves, and we stretched from the ice and whispering winds of the north between the oceans and of east, and our precious mountains of west to the depths of this forest, and magic was all that enthralled us. Should we thought that time would end, we whose natural lives have always been eternal? It may yet have gone on forever, had one of our own been less foolish. A human trickster, their name long forgotten, took one of the folk for a lover and betrayed them. With stolen magic, the trickster forged the iron weapon that proved fatal to our kind, and humanity climbed up from its knees with a ruler of their own. Yada yada. Of course a human would do that. And it's not like, you know, humans were used by those beings from my understanding here. Our reckoning was meted out in lines they called borders, desolation they called progress. A small human hovel in the north grew into their royalty's snarling gullet, and they are ate outwards through the land as they gained more and more influence so quickly. We lost our ice, our ocean, our mountains. What remains of us remains here, in this wood, where every breath of magic is a fight to not be its last. We would weep to lower our heads and proclaim this the age of humanity, but this certainly no longer an age of the folk. Humanity sprawls its seed further that can be pushed back, and now we suffer. It did not have to be this way. It was humanity that stole everything from you and I. You must remember that. On wings bringing sleep. Heh. The title of the game. Ooh. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a VN like in this style. Like with the text on the side. Yeah. The wood is withered. I feel it around me. Around me. Not to me. Around me. Like the arms of someone who once loved me. I do. But whatever it is now, this isn't what was sold to me in a song. I may be a child to those who saw themselves as gods, but I do pay attention. Even this close to midsummer, the green of the trees is just green. Even mother says to me that it's getting worse, so I know that all the folk of the wood see it. Maybe that's why my magic refuses to bloom. Why should a child born to the decline of the folk have the same sort of power her mother does? I mean, why not? There will never be a future where I lead them like she does. It's too crowded in the lungs, too frantic. Everyone worrying that the wood is dying, all while they still prepare for midsummer. A revel at the end of the world. It makes folks act oddly. The way you shed everything you are to feel true escape, just for a moment. Of course, that's only Oh, the text... Oh, okay, that's nuts. That I might have not seen in a visual novel in general, to be honest. Like a slider for text? Yeah. I mean, if you access the log, then yes, but not in like a main screen. That is nice. That is actually nice, not gonna lie. I like this. I feel like also, even if there was like a game with the text basically trying to cover from top to bottom, at some point basically some of the text would get erased basically. What I'm saying, the scroll over here, that's a new thing. Alright, of course that's only possible if you can somehow forget that you have to come back to the real you. And she's the one who will be different forever after what you've done. Do humans sense it? I can breathe easier out here. Just the birds in the trees and me. Oof. Closer to the refined blade of grass is the definite border. That's another thing the wood folk don't talk about, and I'm not bringing up with mother. But there are humans who venture on these parts. A woodcarver who makes sure to only take from the dead trees, exceptionally brave children from the nearest human settlement, and those who walk to the west, a nomad family of hunters who lay their traps. It is strange that they are my favorites. I've grown the most familiar with them. A mother and her two sons, always setting their snares down and returning to collect their rabbits and squirrels before nightfall. They're always together. I know mother wouldn't approve my interest. It certainly isn't that she fears humans, but she still counts her losses to them. One more thing about me she wouldn't understand. Maybe that's it. Without magic, I might as well be a human. Ooh, I mean, in a way it's true. Is this voiced? If it's voiced, I would be so happy. Singing. It's very passed down, and that's no song of the folk. I guess I got my hopes up, huh? Let's try that again. So oddly, this is... A human. I think a new one. Her voice fell flat off that high note and she just tried the melody again. How did she manage to make it sound so natural? This feels like a dream, letting some strange melody lead my way. I don't want to interrupt her. A girl. She's singing to the bird perched on the branch like we would. Oh, but her other hand. She took 2 eggs right from the nest into her pocket. It's clever enough that she must have tried this before.
Alright, at least that's breakfast taken care of.
Mother would just observe. Well, Mother wouldn't have followed a mystery song through the wood at all.
That song was lovely. Who goes there?
She jumps at my arrival. How do I peer to her? Her gaze is lingering on... my ears.
You're a fire. Hello. You mustn't be from these parts. Well, I appreciate the compliment. The song's just a lullaby. My sister sang it to me when we were little. And you're not quite right about me not being from around here. You could better say I'm kept under close watch. Yet you're sneaking out to hunt your breakfast and risking being caught by a folk of the wood. But saying it like that, perhaps you're hoping to be caught? Guy, how are you so certain that you caught me? No, it's my fault. It takes two to be too close to the boundary. Letting you go for today is the right thing to do. Only for today? Oh, such mercy. I ought to run along before you change your mind.
Well?
Or will you also be passing through tomorrow?
Tomorrow. That would be something different from whatever this is.
I could try to find this grove again. I do believe that I could as well. Well, my sister will throw a fit if I make her wait on breakfast. But I'll look forward to tomorrow.
Ah, that's right. Humans have a superstition that if one of the folk gives you our name first, we can hold no power over you.
I'm Morgaine.
Did I say Morgaine? God damn it.
I'm Morgaine. Morgaine?
Morgaine? I guess? I'm not sure.
Oh, Morgaine, I feel like that suits you. I'm very glad to have met you. My name is Ilse.
Okay. I can't help but hum that lullaby, she said. The folk don't have to sleep as much as humans. I need that ability. I've never thought about a song I would want to fall asleep to. I have something to look forward to. Now, Ilse and I talked for barely 2 minutes, but this is the most that I wanted to do something in ages. Speaking of things I need to do, let's see. Some chamomile and some gardenia. Oh, and lavender. Perfect! That should be strong enough to mask if any of Ilse's scent got on me. What? I don't think I could pass her off for a changeling, especially since the only one I'd have talked to is... Forget her! More folk about this morning than usual. Must be rival preparations. I don't really bother waving to anyone anymore. Sure, there are more new faces now than the last of the mountain folk have merged with us, but even the ones I've known in my life, it's obvious how they see me. Late bloomer. Unendowed. Can she be Mab's daughter? Believe me, I'd have it some other way too. Mother and I live on the outskirts of the Lynx. For how much time I spent trying to escape it, you'd think there were shackles keeping Mother chained inside. Sometimes she'll go months speaking to nobody but me if nothing requiring her leadership comes up. I take a moment to breathe in the old wood. The Morgaine, who spends her days roaming the wood, spying on humans. She's left out there beneath the trees. She's not the one who enters the cottage. I like to think she's the real me. Not actually showing, like, your real personality around parents. I kind of understand. I wish it was larger in here. I can't hide anywhere. Not even from the walls. I'm making so many mistakes today. They're all painted with the stories of old, from when all this land was our heaven. Mother is there, but the portrait isn't really her. She's so minimal, just dark horns and judgment among all the revels and hunts, violence and creation. I've always felt a revolting fascination with them, like the first time I opened up a dead animal for a spell. Ugh, power that my role is to never dream of.
Good morning, Mother. Ivy? Would have been preferable to gardenias, but we got fudged later. You know where to put the flowers. Can I help prepare anything for the solstice? I suppose there are some more wreaths that need to be woven.
Ah yes, wreaths. Wreaths that she will do all the magic with, mind you. I can weave some of the finest wreaths in the wood, for how many years I've spent only making them. Morning Glory, Barberry, Watercress, the bowl of rabbit's blood beside them. Memory puppets my blood-stained fingers.
Good enough. Remember that you were born to a purpose, Morgaine.
Here we go, as always.
We are the Witch Kings. We are the Guardians. We get the magic and with it the only order in this world that can be hoped for.
And what would she do if she knew I met a human in the wood just an hour ago? That Ilse wasn't afraid of me, that she threatened none of our kind. I mean, you don't know that. But she was warm and beautiful, and all she asked of me was whether we could meet again.
I understand, Mother. I'm sorry, Morgaine, but you don't. Not until you play your own part. I need to gather some more ivy. It looks like we need more magnolia as well.
She doesn't need to know I crushed the last of it under my boot.
You know what you're doing, I hope?
Those blackbirds are out again today. Is it strange that I hope I don't wind up anyone's dinner? Let's see, which way did I walk yesterday? I think it was to the west and then a bit north. I'm glad you don't ask me about that because I wouldn't remember. She's really here! I almost want to sing next line with her. But what's that hanging from her belt? It looks like a knife. Which could be for anything. She was hunting yesterday, wasn't she? Still, I don't see any blood on her. And the real thing she'd need to protect herself from in the wood is...
Oh, Morgaine, are you there? You heard me coming, huh? I'm not certain that heard is the best word. I felt something yesterday, and just now, right before you appeared. You probably don't even register that. But it's like the whole forest pulling a touch closer around me. So yesterday too, then? I'd be lying if I said there was no shudder. Can I confess something? When I felt it, with the stories I've heard about those trees, I did wonder, hope even. So the singing? Well, don't start thinking too highly of yourself. A girl does need to eat too. Knowing to just stand there, we both found our way back, didn't we?
She doesn't even seem fazed about how close we're sitting. It's like she doesn't have a care in the world. Must be nice. Oh no, I need to say something. But this is only the second time we've met. How much do we actually have to talk about?
Did you, find any more breakfast today?
Really? Breakfast? What am I even saying? But she's laughing. It's musical. Like she can take her amusement and bend it into something beautiful.
No, unlucky birds today, sadly. Maybe they got smarter. Maybe. I did find these four.
She's woven some white flowers up her arm the same way that I do.
I thought that I might bring some back for my sister and myself. Is she the sort who wears flowers in her hair? Pfft. No, I can't quite picture that, which is why I want to see it. She wouldn't say no, it's the least that she owes me.
She smiles with her teeth. Her hands keep going in and out of her dress's pockets while she talks. She feels realer than she did yesterday.
I I've made a lot of wreaths out of flowers like those. You know, the gardens we have are beautiful, so I've heard. The drawings of some of your flowers that I've seen. Oh, the paths change every day, even as you walk. The air brushes your cheek like it's been longing for your return. It's tempting just to linger and the entrance, but you wonder, what's in bloom? Even flowers you would grow on your windowsill feel different. Golden. Magic. It seems more fantastic than I can imagine. The whole garden is really at your command. Oh, the garden. Is that where you keep your menageries of fearsome beasts? Fearsome beasts? What? I've read about them too. Twin-tailed black cats who trick human travelers into games of finger bones on your behalf. Or serpents who grant understanding of their language with a bite. Well, some of us do have familiars. You make this sound far more fantastic for... Oh.
She's earnest. I feel guilty being the bearer of the bad news. It makes sense that human counts have blown things out of proportion for... What would help her understand? Or I can try showing her. Show, what?
It won't be the real thing, but when we tend to them, it's sort of like...
What am I thinking? I'm about to make a fool of myself. Because how many times have I dug a hole into the earth like right now? Have I placed bits of plant inside and covered it back up? Breathed it with my hands over the plot? When did Ilse lean closer? What does she see? Some tree gardener. Or one of the five. So many different flowers bloom within the grove. I have to focus on just the one. Oh, it's a magnolia petal bud. I've never thought of it like this before. I said it in my mind, but it's part of the soil now too. And that soil is part of this grove, with every dewdrop on every blade of grass, and the wildflowers Ilse picked and their roots going up into the trees, and... I'm not me at all. I'm one of those blackbirds in the sky, looking down, the only other creatures in the world who know about us. We bleed into the grove. There is color again. The wood knows me, and now it knows Ilse, and it's singing her lullaby. The soil is trembling beneath my fingers. I unclasp them, and I hope Ilse thinks their shaking is normal. As I raise my palms upwards, the blossoming magnolias are coaxed from the earth, straining for the sky of my magic. It's so easy. I turn back to Ilse and I know it. It's her, until I met the strange human girl. Despite 1,000 tries, I could never do this. I plucked the magnolia from the earth. Keep it, you made it. White isn't my color anyhow. Wow. It's not much. Whole gardens are still out of my reach. These are more manageable. I pluck up a stalk of Ilse's wildflowers, braiding my magnolias through the smaller blooms. I don't even have to think about what my fingers do. I barely have to look away from Ilse as I braid another wreath. Some skill for one of the fabled folk, isn't it? Could you humor me? Would you mind turning around? Maybe I should have to just one flower. Making a whole patch grow in a matter of seconds was a bit much. She takes the wreath from me and then... I feel her hand on the back of my neck, pushing my braid over my shoulder. The cold prick of her fingertip somehow feels like a sunburn on my skin. She can see my left ear fully now, my base nature laid bare. There is some small breeze blowing just between us. It's Ilse, breathing me in. Her fingertips trace higher to the nape of my neck. I'm not singing. My dove, my swan, you've been gone so long. How many tears must I shed for you song? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. You tensed up. It's fine. You can keep singing. Stop! The lullaby, right? Right. Her own hands are getting more confident and her voice. No voice. I'm gonna read this.
You left me with a nod, but a smile and passed on. This poor crow can fly from the member of your arms. Yet I know what skies have soared on from me. No pale beauty for a feather is stirred by my pleas. A bird in my heart, and I'll see yours bird too. Barred too. If holding it's the last thing I'll ever do.
Okay, I'm gonna blame my terrible reading today on the fact that I'm reading with one eye closed, because, I don't know, for some reason it hurts like crazy. Anyway, her hair is nothing like mine. How would it feel to run my fingers through hairs like this?
Let's try something else. Who taught you this? Your mother? I taught myself. Too much time on my hands, my sister always says. That should it. Bring back over your shoulder. I wish I had a mirror to show you properly.
The white flowers, she's woven them all through my braid and crowned me with her wreath. They smell soft.
Sweet. Thank you. I thought you said that song was a lullaby. It seems a bit... A bit what? Dark it's all. The end. It seems more like the singer is laying a claim to their beloved, rather than pursuing their love as equals.
Oh.
Now you mention it, I suppose so. I've known it for so long that I never gave it much thought.
That's me listening to music and not paying really attention to the lyrics.
Although knowing my sister, it might well be some murder ballad that just happened to put me to sleep one night. There's a sort of thing she sings in a good mood. Who really thinks about the stories we tell children until someone points out their flaws?
Stories. There is the one mother has told me so many times I've memorized where she pauses to breathe. But all that happened centuries ago. Things get lost in memory, don't they? Maybe.
Let me return the favor somehow. Our midsummer reveal is almost here. Maybe next time I could teach you some of our songs.
Maybe next time. Listen to me. Assuming a whole future without even thinking.
I look forward to it. I have little else to celebrate.
For just a moment there, something slipped through. I know what kind of sadness that was. Very well. If I could make a glamour, it could sharpen the tips of her ears. She could dance to our music, be the queen of the festivities. And when she's caught, how horribly will that end? This growth is what we have. This growth is enough. I pick up the second wreath and strain it on Ilse's brow.
Wear this next time too, so that one thing of ours can match. You keep saying next time. Even yesterday you agreed so readily. You really want to know that much about me. You're new, unlike anything else. Well, I suppose you do have me there. I should go. My sister and I live alone, and she worries if I'm gone for too long. Of course, we wouldn't want that. Tomorrow, phone. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow we meet again. Two young human women living alone, this close to a folk forest. Fearlessness must run in the family. Or maybe there's another reason. And who knows about Yankee there. That sister of hers sounds more like a mother, if she was singing Ilse to sleep as a baby. Oh.
Just what's in the name of the tallest mountain? Was that Morgaine? Dahlia? So this is what you've been wandering further and further off to? Gathering for maps, surely? What does mother have to do with this? Really, Morgaine? I'll give you an excuse here because to me it looks like you. Why do you care what it looks like I'm doing? I thought that wasn't how you felt. I think it matters for all of us if you're killing a human. That's no. I don't have to explain myself to you. You're a changeling. How is it any different? You and I both know perfectly well the difference between me and a human. Did her family leave her at the boundary? Has she made the change part of the process? That's what I thought. No, it's not because nobody's being beguiled. She's just a girl from the wood who happens to be human. And it doesn't matter if she knows who I am because she's the first one who doesn't care. Do you really mean that, Morgaine? No, how about for once you answer any question? Did you follow me? Yes! Why? Needing to make sure I haven't gotten on to all right without you?
This would be easier if she wasn't so gorgeous as ever. You could throw Dahlia off a cliff and she'd splatter pretty. That'd be perfect, wouldn't it? Little Miss Perfect raising her hand to the sad-broken daughter of the Witch King. Except she's tracing my jaw as she pulls me closer. Her lips brush the ridge of my cheek.
Well, have you?
I still remember how to hold her. Her lips close in on mine.
What?
The magnolias grew that weren't woven to Ilse's, and my crown are right at my feet. I don't think anything. The girl I loved, like a spark loves dry wood, is kissing me again, but they shoot upwards.
Oh, my ankle!
She breaks apart from me, stops, tears her foot out from the magnolia stalks that wrapped up and around it.
Morgaine, what are you? You're all over them.
Huh?
Did you use magic? That's Mab, Why do you care what goes on between me and Mother? Morgaine, if you did, that changes things. You're not being fair. And you're only honest when it suits you. How does it feel being on the other end?
No, she doesn't get to ruin this for me. If she tries to follow me again, I will what? I didn't even mean for that thing with the flowers to happen, and I don't want to hurt her. Not really. She's the one who makes having a simple conversation impossible for. I've always barely been able to keep up with her. That's why. It's for the better that she ended things. No matter how much it hurt back then. Whatever impression she get of Ilse too, she's wrong. I'm not. This is to say, I know what falling in love feels like. Dahlia's the one to thank for that, and I did kiss her back just now. Oof. But it doesn't change that the first time I've ever been able to use magic was when I was with Ilse. Yes, that's what I need right now, while I feel this out. A friend, someone who isn't judging me, who has no motives of her own. Just a friend. Uh-oh. You say just a friend, but...
Morgaine!
We're meeting even earlier today. It's not yet down. I suppose neither of us could wait. I would worry how Ilse found her way through the wood in the dark, but there's a candle lit inside the glass lantern she's holding. She looks tired, tense. She wasn't using her right hand to hold things yesterday. Where did those blisters on her palm come from? Ooh. Sister? Seems problematic.
Did I not mention it?
Did I say that out loud?
Oh, you don't need to hide it, I just... Well, now's a good time as any. My sister is a craftswoman. It's only right that I help her with whatever she needs. Would you humor me? How far exactly is your home from here? It just troubles me how far you've been walking. Would you like for me to show you, in the name of allaying your fears?
We're traveling further north like I suspected, but not towards the human village. I don't think any of the folk have walked in this part of the woods since Mother's youth. And Ilse, she keeps looking back over her shoulder at me, like she can't believe I'm following her. Is my being here helping her nerves or causing them? I know what else I expected. It's a proper house. No thatched together cabin with logs still groaning from being cut down.
How long did you say your family has lived here? Oh, the cottage? I don't know, to be perfectly honest. My sister couldn't live in the capital anymore. She took me with her and followed the river south until she found... Well, we aren't the praying sorts, but it was a certain stroke of luck, wouldn't you say? So it's always just been the two of you, for all your life? Ilse, are you out there?
Cream-heeled? I can see her, but it's no mystery who that must be. Something feels wrong. I crumple a fistful of ague in my pocket and lay my palm on the nearest tree. I've seen plenty of folk to do this spell before, and it feels sort of like growing the flowers did yesterday. Bloom. Hide. It's like the bark of the trunk grows around my hand, a slough of hot wax that scrapes rather than burns. My skin mottles the same color as the wood, patches of moss laying their claims up my arm until all of me that's visible is dusky green.
Go, Ilse. Go, Ilse. Go, Ilse, it's fine.
Why is she looking at me like that? Oh no, this isn't the magic I used to grow those flowers. This is... The reason humans cut down the trees before they lay claim to the forest. The story that keeps children from wandering from their beds. The monster tapping my fingers at their window.
Ilse? Ilse?
Do something, Ilse. Say anything. I promise it's still me.
Ah, Cream-Heeled, I'm right here. Ilse? Did you go into the woods? Ilse, I swear, I don't want to talk about this again. The sun's barely even up. It's alright, let's just go inside. Cream-Heeled, it's nothing.
That's right. That's all you can say. Nothing. Nothing. I'm nothing. So, what was that exactly about Cream-Heeled? I assume she's some being that's rather negative towards fire, or... I need an explanation. Should I have a sense to stay away? If Cream-Heeled suspects something, we need to both be cautious. But I was cautious this morning when I used the camouflage magic. Look what Ilse thought of that. Alright, left arm, right arm, everything back to what Ilse sees. And as for what's in the bag around my waist, well, Mother might see what I stole and realize what magic they work together. Maybe she'll be proud. I've got to go back to the cottage. She won't come to me. I recognize how she talked to that sister of hers. Sister, mother, seems either way, I thought right. It somehow looks smaller at night. Which room is Ilse's? That's the last thing I need. Her sister waking up to see me outside her window. Oh, up there, the loft on the second floor. That's the candle from Ilse's lantern this morning. Did she light for her? She's even left it open. And there she's, brushing out her hair for the night. Her arms, I hear how she breathes in every time she raises them. They're stiff, she's hurting. Something isn't right in this house, but then I already know that.
Ilse! What do you want?
I've never seen her like this. She turned around so quickly, but she looked like she hates me. Like she... Wait, what? Like the dew at the end of the wild hunt. I've only seen her teeth when she smiles, never her fangs. And her night gown isn't like the clothes I met her in. I can see more of her. Her chest. Of course, that's the first thing you would pay attention to. Her shoulders, they're all bruised, like ugly eclipses all over the peach of her skin. Whoa. Dude, that's older sister is a problem. It's the height of summer. I've always met her when any human should have sweat salting their scalp, with her neckline buttoned up to her throat and the cuffs at her wrists. Oh, they always been there.
Who hurt you? Oh. Why didn't you tell me? Morgaine, tell you what. You're not a fool, you said, and I'm not either. You shouldn't have come back. I think those bruises are exactly why I should have. You understand nearly as much as you think you do. Ilse, if I did anything that upset you, I truly am sorry. That wasn't my intent. No, Morgaine, it's not... I'm not angry with you, it's myself, how I acted earlier. I don't know why. I thought leaving you here was a good idea. And then Cream-Heeled was there and I never had a friend. Not truly. And I realized that's where you are to me. Morgaine, I just hadn't let myself think that way until we were right there at the doorstep and... It wasn't perfect. Not the way I thought it would be.
Friend. She does feel this bond too when it's real. So why does that word feel like shadows in a summer day?
I want to help you, Ilse. No matter how little an escape I can offer. I know where yet. Past the grove, maybe there is our rival. But you can't understand the kindness you've shown me. It's all that feels right to offer you. For your friendship. Thank you, Morgaine. Why do you feel like you know so much more about me now than I do you? Necessary caution when you were a stranger at least. Don't you see, Fo? I can't explain my world in words. This is the best answer I can give you. Surely a night stole into the Folkwood is better than... how I exist here. What have I done for you to slip through my window with the knife and save me from existence? Please don't think of me that way, as a girl who's only wounded, only ever falling, who's never wondered where the bravery to save herself lies.
She only held my face in her hands for a moment, but is there some magic that preserves the ghost of a touch?
Tomorrow then. Tomorrow. Good night, Morgaine.
Let's see, I think I got away cleanly. Mother should not be taking from her storage if I supplement from the gardens. I should have guessed food would be heavier to carry for.
Oh, hello again. Just you today, like little blackbird? Well, I suppose you know where I'm off to. Why haven't you flown on with the rest of your flock? For what makes a bird decide somewhere is the place to remain? Ah, careful where you're flying, little bird. You made me drop my bag of tricks. You really are my escort then. Maybe I should call you something nicer, little bird. Morgaine, I know you're there. What gave it away this time? It was different.
She steps closer to me and takes my hands in hers with a swipe of her thumb over my knuckles. That's a standard human greeting, right? Right?
It was a scent today. I don't even know if it's yours alone, but I felt like every tree in the forest had suddenly gone into full bloom. All that lightness and lush was wrapping around me. Upping the fire dramatics, are you?
It's interesting how it seems like meeting with Ilse has awakened her magic.
I wasn't trying to. Ha! Never mind it, for now. Oh, your hair. What about it? The flowers. You don't have to keep them there for me, you know.
No, do they look wrong? I tried to enchant them so that they wouldn't wilt.
Well, today with everything said last night, I thought I would try to make myself more at home here.
She's brought a blanket to spread over the grass. The quilt from her bed. Even sitting at ease here or last night, she looks regal. I don't think she could slouch her shoulders if she tried.
About that, I had an idea. We always prepare so much food for the midsummer revel. Nobody is going to miss a little amount of it. If you'd like to try it, that is.
Let's see, fruits I pick from the gardens, honey milk, sweet cakes, some bird simmered in that saffron sauce I like. I can't predict everything there will be, but staples seem a safe place to sort. She's hesitating for, even over something basic as bread. Is her hand shaking?
I'm sorry, it all looks delicious, don't misunderstand by it, I...
How could I have forgotten? She's likely spent her life being told any food of the folk will turn to ash in her mouth, if not worse.
If I may, take these berries, eat them just before the sun begins to set. They wake you up to the wood. That's what the revelry is, the one time of year when all the old magic can be felt. You can start with just one. They're small enough to come right off the vine, and sweet without any sugar.
I've been trying so hard to make her feel safe. What if she simply can't manage this for? Maybe if
I'll pretend it's my first time as well.
The next berry that I reach for, it's slower, less certain of where to pinch my fingers and sever fruit from stalk. It takes her a moment, but Ilse starts to mirror me. She mangles hers a bit, some pulp sticking to her fingers. When she eats it, she almost seems self-conscious, ducking her head down and eating in a hurry before the juices can drip further than her wrist. A few dark droplets make it to her skirt, but no matter, no going back now. How do you eat like that for? To make so much? You're like it's to make your dress so dirty, kind of. To make so much mess, kind of, as well.
Do you feel something? You were right. It's sweet. Oh my. This is how you all live? Constantly? If it's too much, we can stop. No. It's so much. Everything you've said about the forest, I'm feeling it now. I taste it. What else is there? Try this then. The cakes lighten your feet for dancing. Here, I'll break it in half. Whatever I match you. That way it stays fair. How long do the effects last? They're meant to carry you through the festivities. Don't believe anyone who claims that you need to double up. I once saw a girl who couldn't set her feet on the ground for a week after eating too many of those.
She eats this one so urgently too. Creamhill doesn't. A sister wouldn't. Would she? Oh, you mean she's not getting food? I mean, it would, I guess, kind of explain maybe why she was searching for the eggs and so on. There is something wrong with Creamhill, yeah. I don't want to ask, not in the moment, not when she's laughing. It's the berries, I know. She falls back onto the quilt, her eyes shut in bliss. There is no force at all to her laughter. I don't want to help her up until she lets it all out.
Why, Morgaine, you gentle woman? I couldn't leave you to any grass stains. Morgaine, would you like to dance?
And before I know it, we're pulling each other around the grove, clasping hands and spinning until our vision loses direction, twirling beneath each other's arms, weaving, hopping steps towards each other like dewdrops on a spider's web. I feel carefree, maybe for first time I can ever remember.
Goodness, you weren't exaggerating. I'm absolutely parched. What's in the water skin at your belt? I'm not certain you want to try wine right now. Wine? I'll admit I've never been, inebriated before, but... That's not it. It's, well... Our wine makes you honest. Honest. So we both drink a truth for a truth, whatever either of us wishes to know. Alright. The first question that comes to mind, no regretting it, whatever the answer.
There is not much more in here than for each of us to have a sip, anyhow. I'd forgotten how heady it is. Ilse downs it quickly, although I don't think it's from practice.
Oh, that's not quite what I expected. I think it's meant to taste better the more that you drink. Go on then. Have you ever... Are you not afraid of me?
It's a simple answer, of course not. Of course not. Oh, the words don't come, and for that to be the case... No, I can't be afraid. Was the fight with Dahlia? Yes, that has to be it. That just shook me. Not that either. Then what? I know I'm talking too long to say something again. Ilse has to see it, the betrayal of magic. What if there is no version of the truth that I can give her?
That's right. I haven't been certain myself recently. Don't doubt yourself. Don't let anyone make you. You're not a monster for claiming whatever you can from the world, even if it's not what you might have expected. I didn't hear a question that, Morgaine. Can you tell me a story about the old times? Don't alter it for my sake. Tell me about my people exactly the way you've heard it. Okay. Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, the people of Wildegrun answered to goats, and the goats were hungry. Prayers were left to be ignored, a prize cow butchered on the doorstep, bowls of milk swirled pink with blood. Desperate families offered out their unwanted children, chaining them to the ground when they rejected their purpose. What the hell? All agreed that to be changed was the kinder fate. If the gods returned them to you, whether they still breathed was inconsequential. Children wept to walk their tattered feet across hard ground. Parents could no longer meet the eye of any within their family. Lovers would scream at the touch of your hand. Into such a genealogy was born Eike, the Diligent. She lost her sister to a beguiling spring, only finding wood bones of hers washed down the river from the hunting grounds of the gods. Her father went to bed one night, a man, and she found him the next morning as a mass of flesh still bound to his killing tree. And then one day her lover returned to her home like a lost ghost. She swore that her people would he bear no more. Ilse's family come from low means, but her lover was a merchant who had traveled far and wide, and had gifted her upon their engagement a dagger of foreign metal. Armed with all that remained of her love, Ilse ventured the woods and waited. Some say she'd brewed a solution to counter anything the gods bade her ingest. Some that she cut open her own vines and let into the earth, knowing what first it would draw. Others that she simply stripped naked and waited to be found. What? Perhaps all three, perhaps something else entirely. When Ilse awoke in the morning, her mind remained her own, as much as her lover's dagger, buried within the breast of the dead fire at her side. Ilse returned to the hunting ground upon the next full moon. Her lover's blade once more fell true, and this time granted Ilse a gift greater than vengeance, a vision of what she must do. She spread her tale from village to village, and with it the knowledge that gods could be brought low. And when she slew the Fire Lord, who had stalked the boundaries of her family's home until it held only her, she carved her declaration of war from his chest and left him to be found. Human settlements, once isolated and penned like cattle, banded together. A capital of our own rose in the north. What became of Ilse as the new balance was waived is our tale's only mystery. She was last seen leading the charge against the Fire's own Horned Queen, their greatest and most terrible commander. A hero such as Ilse would certainly have been proud to sacrifice herself for her people's triumph, and indeed, the end of that battle marked the drawing of the boundary pact that keeps the Fire at bay even now. Yet some claim that with her family avenged and their hunters humbled, Ilse returned to anonymity. They claim she may very well have lived out the remainder of her days in a once impossible dream, free from terror. I wonder if... There is something in my mind now about a supposed Ilse.
Do you see why I asked what I did? Centuries have turned wounds to scars yet, but you still took so much from us. And we, I suppose, ended anyone's right to divinity.
Hearing the stories like this, I never wondered if the Faith Breaker had a name, and the Horned Queen could have only been Mother. She's always told me that humans don't comprehend time how we do. I wouldn't think that was all history from centuries ago for not hearing how Ilse spoke of it.
So now you know all that I ignore every time I do this. You.
Suddenly everything I can think of to say sounds like it will just prove her right about the folk. That we didn't want a war of absolutes. That she has no way of knowing her version is what really happened. What response won't lose her forever? I can think of one before she suddenly grabs for a plum still lying on the quilt, biting into it fiercely enough for the dark juice to spray across her lips.
Why should it fall to the two of us to right every wrong?
And before I can let myself think twice, I crowded her chin on my fingers, wisping the juice from her soft lips.
What do you say this fruit does? I have no idea. We can find out.
Instead of taking a bite from the plum, I flick my tongue to the droplets on my finger. Ilse watches me do it, and I feel a strange sense of obscenity. I feel my little bird circling above us once more. There is a buzz almost like an itch running up my spine, spreading along my shoulder blades. The space between me and Ilse suddenly feels different. The quilt beneath my hands isn't soft anymore. It itches up through my skin, suddenly rushing through my veins like an embrace. I'm frozen, I need to move. I feel string along my muscles, but it's like my brain doesn't know what to do with them. And somehow, I feel a certainty that Ilse is experiencing the same. Although how can I know? I can look her in the eye.
The light's changing. The light's changing. Creamheeled won't believe I'm taking this much time. Creamheeled? It's my day to hunt, but it does take me all day.
Something isn't right about this, but I already knew that. But it's not the face of someone who wants to go home. And I still have what I was too cowardly to give her last night.
Ilse, do you trust me? What? I have to hear a glamour spell. All you would need to do is wear it like a charm. Can you meet me back here tomorrow before sundown? Tomorrow, isn't that your rival? Yeah.
She touches me then, just running a finger along the length of my ear, pushing my hair back. It's like I know every way I want to touch her in return. I want to cover her eyes every time she sees a part of me she ought to be afraid of.
I think that I can sneak out. Freshen up the flowers for me. What happens if she's not there, Naira? She didn't seem as certain yesterday. Did you follow her home? How did she seem? What's worse, Naira? Having nobody to talk to but myself or talking to a bird? Alright, keep flying with me in silence then. Ilse, are you here yet? I picked a fight with a cream-heeled, so she'll think I'm sulking in my room. Even if she checks on me an hour from now, what can she do? That's not quite what I had in mind. Now, the glamour you showed me yesterday, how does it work? Is it just cosmetic? Before we do that, it's fine if you'd rather not, but I brought something you might want to wear just in case. Well. Yes, that's wise. I shouldn't crawl back through my window wearing clothes all dirtied from dancing. Right, definitely. You can change behind a tree, I suppose? Right. Just a moment then.
Somehow I'm still terrified she'll be wise and take this chance to run. It's good to have one more moment without the sight of her shaping every thought of mine.
Morgaine, I appreciate the kindness, but I don't know about this dress. Oh, does it not fit? It does.
I can hear her inhale from yards away. She steps back into the grove, her fists bunched in her pale skirts, her head lowered as I see... The neckline's lower than even her nightgowns, and the sleeves shorter than any I've ever seen her wear. Lurid violet faded into rings of pink and putties across her collarbone and arms. It's not a revelation anymore, but I didn't see the full of it that night in her cottage, and she did say that she picked a fight with her sister.
The glamour, right? To use it, do you mind if I touch you?
She hesitates, one more way of reminding me that I only have an idea of what to do. But when she steps forward, I crush the charm between my fingers and bring it to my mouth. With the breath of my intent, I have to trust it in my own will. I've only seen Mother make these charms, not how they're actually cast, but it's about seeing what you want to see. I want Ilse to be unhurt. If she's only enchanted to look like one of the folk, will she still be wounded so easily? I serve her left shoulder. I'd feel less alarmed to have someone lay their hands there, wouldn't I? My hand hovers above it for a long moment. It would be easier if magic could be absorbed that way, through space and will, and no touch was necessary. I hold my breath when my fingers meet her skin, and she exhales as I hold us both in place.
Meant.
I watched Mother heal other folk in 100 different ways. The magic wants more than memory for. I can fix Ilse without feeling her. The onion bumps that rise along her skin, a sense shared between us that I can only describe as a cold heat. These are normal human sensations. I slowly slide my hand down the length of where the bruises cover her arm. I can't cut myself off from this tether, no matter how it tries to save me.
Careful. Some of them are still sensitive.
Clearly I'm doing something wrong. I just don't know what. How cruel will I seem for offering her hope like the revel and the failing to give it to her?
Maybe you can help me? Help? How would I? It's just an idea, but... No. I'm not imagining it. My magic works better when you're involved. I just need you to think about those bruises going away and about yourself as one of us.
Well, I've let it slip that I'm not quite the all-powerful child of gods. What if her disappointment is less for the rebel and just for me? But she lays her hand over where mine still covers one of the larger bruises.
Don't erase all of them if it's too much. Focus more on my face or whatever else the glamour is for.
It's a bit strange, touching her, but not exactly. Her hand is the one that guides mine up the angles of her face, delicately presses her eyes closed, winding pieces of her hair around my fingers, and teasing points out of her ears. I see now what was wrong before. I was afraid to picture her physically in the way this spell needs. It's changing nothing deeper than her flesh, but I still have to shape the glamour around every freckle and mark, where it's slightly paler, where her clothes usually cover it, what shade differently in her than is in me. We move more quickly over the chest, and finish with a sweep down her right arm that leaves me huffing harder than I thought. Maybe the magic did take me some small toll from Ilse too, for the quickening of her own breath. I didn't let myself look at the picture in progress, more than making sure it was changing, but now... Oh. Wait a second, it's like your mother also had those horns. A part of me sees what I know is Ilse, but laid over the face I've come to know, she's almost a fairer mirror. Ears the same length and sharpness as mine, and horns. Why horns? Is that an endowment my magic gave her?
How do you feel?
She touches a hand to her chest, halfway to wincing, and flattens it across the smooth skin when pain never comes.
Like someone different. You're tonight, whoever you'd like to be.
It's still true. That's all I can give her for now. But if she ever said it out loud... No, not even. Let Creamheeled come hunting in the wood one day and see who greets her.
Here, the berries.
With every step closer to the lungs, I wait for fear. Ilse is barely even following me, for matching my pace so determined that her fists are bunched back at her sides. She's not afraid. So why should I be either of my own people? I know we're growing close when my refs begin appearing, nailed to every second or third tree we pass. I do stop to brush a finger over one's woven stalks, and I feel it. A flutter of response. It can find like a bit of my magic with everyone else's. The heady crackle of it is already thickening on the air. It's all that attracts the music. The folk are not idle when it comes to our music. When our magic grows too overwhelming to be contained to a command, the rest blossoms into a song. A song is something to be savored, the last suck of marrow from the bone. It's simple strike now, measured beats. They waver on the air with a promise that I wonder if Ilse can hear, a call to gather. This isn't my first reveal, of course, but it's hers, that sends a different rush through me, that I'll be able to watch her and see. She'll shine. Our hands will stay locked together like this, and she'll come the closest she ever will to magic.
Alright, thank you for preparing me. This would have been too much if you hadn't. You still feel like yourself? Well, of course not, that's what's beautiful.
What's the point of formalities? I've seen every one of the folk around us each day for 18 years. And no reveal greetings will change how received by them any other day or night. When we first step into the circle that's forming in the lungs foe, I expect every head to turn our way. Who'd wonder how they'd spend every day of eternity not noticing this radiant folk woman dressed in the shades of the sunrise. Then I see her. Dahlia, literally glowing from the golden powder speckled over her skin, halts in conversation with several of her mountain folk kin for just a moment. Her eyes narrow on me and Ilse before she emptily laughs at the companion's story. We've kept well out of each other's way since. I'm not sure what's more vivid in my memory, the words we said to each other or the failed seduction. It's not as if I'm planning on letting Ilse out of my sight, but...
That woman there in the red dress, you don't want any business with her. More so than any other file leading me astray into the woods? Well, we have history.
I spent so much time on my lonesome in the wood, it's easy to forget what a proper gathering of the folk feels like. What could Ilse even compare it to? The largest of crowds she could possibly have been in still wouldn't have anyone with strips of fur down their spines, extra digits to their fingers and toes, cloven hooves, and sharpened talons. The lungs is no small wooded hollow, but anywhere the rising moon's light can break through the trees. 5 folk are practically clinging on top of each other to feel it brightest, The food and wine are already taking their effects.
Best not let everyone else outpace us.
Ilse's sip is as measured and dainty as from my water skin back in the grove, but that sliver of Dahlia's attention knocked something in me ajar. When she kissed me, she fell right back in the script of our old dalliances. I knew to be a Morgaine that Dahlia can't expect anything from tonight. I barely taste the wine, it goes down my throat so quickly. Mother will have to make an appearance sometime tonight, but it's still too early for her to be forced by duty from the cottage. The folk who lead this proper dance are among the oldest of the old who remain, and it's not one that wheels me too much more than tapping my foot against the grass. I promised Ilse a night like no other, not this. There we go. The next dance is for a younger woman! The beating percussion quickening, joining up with softly clamoring bells.
Follow my lead. You will learn it like a natural. It does sound a bit like something from home.
Yes, it's a dance for a young woman. So as soon as Ilse and I join the edge of the crowd, Dahlia does the same.
Be careful of this part. The rhythm changes suddenly into the chorus. In the chorus. Then just lift your arms and... I think I'm starting to find it. Connect my hands at the arc. And then back down, yes!
Even when the dance partners switch, I make sure to keep sight of her. But Ilse is taking to this better than I could have ever expected. The dancers around her followed her troll, too charmed by her smile and light feet to think too hard about whether they actually seen her face before. I knew it, of course, but seeing the picture of my mind take flesh so perfectly. She charmed them all within 3 choruses, the first human to grace a folk revel in what might be centuries. The dancing as with the music also serves a purpose. The full moon makes this year's midsummer even more potent, and combined with the cakes and wine, magic is already starting to slot off folk like an oversized dressing gown! Dude, that must be epic party. Like, maybe not a party, but absolutely phenomenal situation here. Kinda like a festival, to be fair. Must be amazing. The music quickens again, a lyre picking up from the bells. I'm not sure where to pull of bodies around me is coming from, whether we all move as one, or if this is how the lungs got its nickname, and the wood is what's breathing, trying to gasp us back to our full power. Something tickles the soles of my feet when I bring them up and set them back down. Ilse catches my arm and in a surge of selfishness I pull her closer.
Look at the ground! Did I do that?
Watching the path of my feet instead of letting the dance carry them is harder than it seems. Ilse and I stumble together, her shoulder colliding with my chest. But we both look down and then back at each other with equally silly grins. Small patches of flowers are blooming everywhere my feet land. Tomorrow someone will be able to trace every dance between me and Ilse. 2 girls lost in the revel, leaving a memory that can only be ours. Song after song after song. Ilse's breath starts to come heavier, heaving into every step. But she never shows a sign of wanting to stop. She didn't too when the harmony of twin fiddles shows its presence through the night, and it's so naked that it's felt clear as any command of magic. And I wish that there was a way that a body could melt in a song, and its sound could be all the flesh and blood it needed.
Ilse! Morgaine! It's not fun really, but for what felt like a moment there, I started to forget about you. Is it the song? I felt like I was all that existed in the entire forest. I saved this from yesterday. Do you want to try it again?
I couldn't bring myself to finish off the plum Ilse bit into after her story. I had the sense, maybe the timing just wasn't right.
Do you think... I don't think right now. Do you feel differently? No. We're of exactly the same mind, you and I.
The way she bites into the fruit is the same as before. More like watching a wolf tear meat from the bone. I turned to watch her as I watched her throat swell, my teeth just overlapping the ridge of where hers pierced the plum's flesh. Sweet then sour. The same effect takes hold faster than before, although I still can't describe what it is. It's like the haze of wild magic swirling around us, when the moonlight hits my face and makes me feel like the storm-calling fog of old. Maybe this feeling is infinity, or wanting it.
dance with me, Morgaine?
We take hold of each other more fiercely than before, Ilse's fingertips dig into my wrists. I shift one hand to her waist, tethering us together as the dance pulses around us. Vent zinging? That zinging sensation beneath my skin is stronger, like some baser creature is trying to tear out of the prison of my flesh. Maybe it's me. Ilse really is a quick study. This dance stomps, swerves, tries to blur your up from down. She holds our gazes together, what feels like a command not to falter.
I know that look. What are you trying to not to think about? What's right in front of me?
Something heavier than standing under her eyes. As she presses her body closer, her hand cautiously brushes my neck. This isn't the night or the girl for caution. I want to drink her, open her up, try and know the taste of her secrets. What? I want every one of the folk in the world to have no illusion of what we are. Oh, if she sees all this in me and isn't afraid, I push a strand of her back, and at just that soft brush of fingertip against the shell of her ear, she makes a little gasp of a sound and leans upwards. When our lips first meet, it feels like its own test, having to guarantee some invisible veil won't fall between us and stop human and folk from longing this openly. We pull back from the sheer shock of it, I think. Then she gasps again, her breath hot against my lips. Dahlia didn't make fun of how we would kiss, but she always wanted me softer. I tried to take control too quickly, went right from introduction to needing as much of her as I could bear. So I tried to hold back to be... what did Ilse call me? That gave me a little thrill. A gentle woman. She gives way against me, for no more pretense of keeping any space between us. I licked the last of the plum juice from her lips and kissed her how I've been famished to. Something happens when her hand cradles the nape of my neck, her fingers teasing the ridge of my spine, and all the world stops except for the music's beating drums. All the shivering sparks I feel from the fruit and the dancing. They collide in my chest, exploding through me. There is something moving beneath the muscles of my back. My body feels so limited, even as I use all of it to grab hold of Ilse. Does she feel it too, whatever this magic created as it squirms under my skin? Would she want that too? As I think it, she runs her hand right over the pulse of it, the center of my back right between the blades of my shoulders. Huh? Wait, what? I failed to hear a sound like ripping fabric but weather, the push of something demanding the grow forth, and then the feeling. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! A bit of pain, yes, but all at once, something of me is taking up more space. Don't tell me she did. Don't tell me you got stabbed. There is a sensation almost like tickling across my chest as well, and I look down as Ilse gasps and pulls her hand back from it. Wait, feathers? Morgaine, you! Look, over your shoulder! Gee! Dude, I was scared she got stabbed. She's not the only one noticing. Whatever has happened to me, I look. Wings. Half folded behind me, a pair of shining black wings, nearly the same height as me. They pull slightly at my back, shifting my posture. New sensation. Muscles, nerve endings, all suddenly grafted into my former awareness of my body. I think, flap. They unfurl faster than I realize, and the folk nearest me have to stumble out of their way. More are stopping in their dance as they notice me, but the music keeps going, an odd dissonance. I flex my shoulders back, let the movement carry into the wings, and sure enough, they answer to me.
Ilse, So this is you, one of the five.
She's right, this is my endowment, the reflection of my magic that manifests for every matured folk. And just like before, I have Ilse to thank for it finally coming forth.
Thank you, Ilse, thank you!
I can't help it, I kiss her again. More of the folk resume their festivities, giving us a bit more space. I feel a shitfall. Regard is something that changes the air, and that air has never been so light. In every sense, this is where I belong.
Morgaine! Mother!
I hadn't even thought about when. I mean, I've had more reasons than usual recently to avoid mother. But your mother doesn't have any wings. Speaking of which, Ilse's already made herself scars, and why wouldn't she? This is the horned queen of her childhood nightmares. Oh. And she just heard me call her mother.
You've come into your own, I see. Yeah, it hasn't been for long, but... You ought to have told me that you accessed your magic. I was going to help you when you did.
She actually looks upset. Is it that a black and white in her mind, holding her daughter at arm's length for years over something I couldn't even control, and now everything is just supposed to be fine? And now everyone around us stopping with mother's arrival. She's supposed to sing the most important of the enchantments, say some words about maintaining the peace, but is my part the dutiful apprentice now? Funny, just a handful of weeks ago, I would have longed for that.
I've managed on my own so far. Yes, I concede it. Even so, our powers require a firm hand, someone who understands.
No, that sounds like... I'm not rethinking as I spread my new wings again, but alarm turns a running start towards that sound into me lifting off the ground. It's far from graceful, but it carries me above the panic that starts. I'm the first one to make it to her, and I see... Ilse standing upright with wide eyes. There's blood. The bodice of her dress is drenched on it, and I can hear how frantically her heart is pumping, but there is no sound coming from her. What she's holding in her hand?
Morgaine, Wait!
She flees back in the wood before I can reach for her. When I move to follow her, my foot knocks into...
What? Oh no, Dahlia?
She's not screaming anymore, but even lying curled up on the ground, I see how much blood she's covered in. Her hands are clamped over her face, and what little sounds she's making now can barely even be called whimpers. There's something other than blood on what I can see of her face. It looks paler, thicker.
Morgaine, what is it? Move aside! Mother, I know her, let me...
Wait, there is something sticking out from between Dahlia's fingers. It looks like...
Morgaine, do you have a name? Empty collecting vials in your bag right now? What? Vials? I think so. I need 2 of them. Don't just stand there. If you want to help her, it needs to be now. Whoever put her eye out did so with an old human weapon. Daggers like this were only forged for the purpose of killing folk. Her eye?
If she left her dagger behind, was that what Ilse was... This has to be misunderstanding somehow. Maybe Dahlia just got jealous and Ilse overreacted, or...
You can just stand there in times like this if you want your magic to be of any use. The vials now! Yes, mother. Watch carefully, hope that you never have to use this sort of spell yourself.
Mother, how many times has she done this before to stay so calm? She crushed some sort of flower from the glimpse I see of red and white. I think it's anemone petals. Then she sliced open the part of her thumb on the tip of her horn and bleeds into the 2 small vials that clatter together in my shaking hands as I offer them to her. But when she takes out a smaller knife of her own and brings it to Dahlia's arm...
No, don't hurt her any further. I knew it! This is our only chance at sparing her life.
Is Dahlia even breathing? There a little bit, but... I mean, Mother is right, she doesn't have much longer. She does the same thing with Dahlia's blood into the vials, but before sealing either of them, she...
Don't look so horrified. Blood magic is unpleasant, but by design.
And with that, she swallows a sip of what precious little blood Dahlia has left. When she drips the second vial of her combined blood into Dahlia's mouth, I can't stomach it.
As I told you, Morgaine, pray that you never have to wield more than flowers. This is wartime word magic. The slumber that it puts her into isn't meant for longer than a few days, but it will suspend her in this state long enough for me to properly heal her without worsening the damage. Only I can wake her up by drinking the rest of the blood, or someone else could make her do the same if I somehow waylaid my vial. Now, did you see who attacked her? A human should have made it this deep into the wood on their own, but I'm loath to suspect a kinsfolk. No, they were already running off by the time I got there.
I have to. There is some explanation for this that I just haven't figured out yet. The Ilse I know, she wouldn't do this. Her hand was forward, somehow I know it. But that look in her eyes, and why would she have a dagger? Its only purpose is... In all the times we've met, she's never hurt me. There has to be something I'm not understanding, or... Was Ilse planning this all along? I should not have done this, Naira. There is not a single reason I should be waiting at this edge of the wood, hoping Mother believes that I'm just gathering what plants we'll need to try and save dahlias. Gathering plants, that's the excuse I used every time I snuck out to visit Ilse, helpless in, what? Loneliness? Love? It feels like I shouldn't even be thinking that right now, but... When I told myself that I wanted her secrets, this was one I would have expected! What's even my plan here, Naira? Corner her when she comes outside again? Break in and demand? Dahlia's eye? I can get what was left of it. Not even whoever pictures that being called and makes up an eye. Mother made me clean her face before I slipped off. Brief, damn it, brief.
I answered the same, it was an hour ago. Ilse, we're not leaving.
Aren't you always telling me how I'm child? How else should I describe the way you're acting? Cream-heeled, do you think this was easy for me?
What sort of sister does what you've done? Lying to her own family, taking the rightful chances. It seems that was all easy enough for you.
It's not as if I had made your move in 6 months. I found the fire and claimed trophy in just a few weeks, so maybe I deserve the throne. Did you see it that way?
What? The throne? Wait, what?
Surely with nothing more than your careless wiles and sheer luck, and not any of the notes and research you spent years spying on over my shoulder.
No, it was like that.
Ilse, what exactly did you do?
Well, what was all the combat training you were giving me for, if it was meant to use it?
Any young woman, let alone a princess, should be able to defend herself, especially when the younger soul is to marry it off to some stranger for the sake of an alliance.
The test that the father gave you was to kill a fire and bring back proof, so I don't see why you're so upset that I mentioned it first, when you're the one who insisted on bringing me along. Do you really think, being 2 years older at unique means you deserve to be queen more?
I deserve it because I spent half of your life being mother. And it only makes all those years fair if I can finally have her other title.
Well, I'm sorry for destroying your life that much, and I suppose you'll just think of this as one more way.
A sound cuts her off. One I don't want to admit that I've imagined. Short, sharp, the precise strike of hand shot out before the person making the strike even realizes what they're doing.
Yes, you've been wanting to do that for a long time, haven't you?
Ilse! Wait, Ilse! I'm sorry!
Footsteps rushed towards me, and I realized I'd moved like I was going to throw the front door open. It's the same camouflage spell that I use, when Ilse flings it open instead, cradling one hand to the reddened cheek and looking as devastated as I felt since last night. She sinks to her knees right there in the grass and gives a closed mouth wail that makes every bit of magic within me sing to comfort her. But why? I mean, she literally just said stuff about killing your species, I guess. So... But she's devastated about what? Like to me or her sister? I look at her like this, still the human girl I held in my arms, and think it's hard enough to transform me to something new. And someone who I realize I don't know at all.
I feel Morgaine. Are you here?
I want to go to her. I can't.
Dahlia, can I talk to you? Look at you. I never thought that I'd be better off than you. You're here stuck under that spell Mother cast on you. And would you know, it's terrible for me too. I know what happened that ended with you like this. You're asleep, you shouldn't look like that. No, I do know. I was looking out enough, and now you're like this, and Ilse, you couldn't live well enough alone, could you? You never could. Was it seeing her or me? She's no different from how I was back then, really. I was surprised when you stayed, my friend, even after you fully changed. That was what really bonded us, wasn't it? The first time that we kissed, It was more than what I thought one of the folk would do. It was your first time too, wasn't it? You were so confident, and I just missed every signal, overlooked every little touch until you had to grab my face that night up in the pine tree and kiss me.
I mean, to be fair, women are terrible at giving signals, so...
Well, no, I don't think that's true.
I think that's true.
I let you think that boy was so naive. When I realized maybe it could be something more, I lacked your attention. I felt how your ears... I felt how your eyes followed me everywhere we went. I knew it made you feel so hopeless. When I ignored your hand brushing mine, when I laughed off your flirting. I never had that before, someone who wanted me. I'd never been a person who would decide how much to give someone. I wanted you too. I really did, but the folk have always loved you. The first changeling in decades, and you changed so well. Do you know how it feels to realize you have power for the first time in your life, and over someone who's everything you're supposed to be? I was stupid, I know. Saying it out loud, I feel... Well, I don't know what I was thinking. I couldn't even explain myself to you without you having to be half dead in front of me first. I'm being a real coward now, Dahlia. This is what actually sounds like from me. But when I did decide to love and be loved, I didn't realize how badly I'd hurt myself denying you like that. You wanted me so much by that point. I fell completely into you. I would go for walks in the wood at any time of day or night, and just suddenly think there is someone in this world who loves me.
Now that I think about it, how far can we scroll back? Beginning of the scene, it seems like. I love that. That is such a good one.
I had to always be by your side so I could remember that. It's no wonder you stopped liking what you saw once I reached that point. I thought after you ended things, so that's love. I was fine with learning that from you. I didn't trust myself not to do the same things over again if another girl somehow looked my way. Was that what really bothered you about Ilse? Because with her, I'm more confused. Of course I thought she was beautiful. I can't say there weren't signs. Oh no, I did do it all again, didn't I? But I couldn't have guessed. Well, I'm sorry about your eye, I don't know what that was. I saw her with the dagger before, and I didn't know, she never tried to hurt me. That I know of. I can't bear it, Dahlia. If there is no way I can have love without someone getting hurt. It means all the folk have always been right about me. That I'm just wrong. But you deserve to know. I met a human girl on the boundary in the wood. Maybe you're right and some part of me was beguiling her all along. I found my magic and used it to sneak her into our most sacred festival. And within minutes of me realizing that maybe I love her, she tried to kill you with a weapon of our worst enemies. Which makes this my fault, really. You wouldn't be sleeping halfway towards death if I hadn't started wanting.
Is that so?
Mother!
I'm not a fool, Morgaine. I knew about the human girl. I smelled her on you the day of you first met her. I just didn't think you'd be rash enough to bring her all the way to our fault.
Mother, I can explain.
Can you? I believe that I just heard the most honest version. You may have those wings on your back now, Morgaine, but I knew you were still a child. I could only warn you worth so much. I thought to let it all happen again, and you learn aside it. For I admit this was higher cost than I hoped to pay.
As you did.
There is one more story for you to hear, and hear it you will. Do you know what it really takes to bring down a god? A very sharp sword. I don't know. The god must open their arms to weakness. Hunger, some call it, as if it's so simple a craving. When it happened to me, I called it love. Eike was curious. Wait a second, you were into... Oh crap. Not like the humans that had been described to me, or any who I'd danced with at Revel. We carried on for nearly a year, long enough for me to believe that I knew her. She never told me of her lost family and loved ones. I didn't guess at all to her vengefulness until I walked by her side one evening to her trying to sew my horn from my head. Some human superstition, I believe, that if you steal something from a fog's body, it will grant you their power. I was more than humiliated. If the folk were ever to learn of the role that I played in our downfall, in a sense I did give AK power. She forged the first of those accursed daggers from that stolen fragment of my horn. Certainly, I would exile from these lands any of our kind whose betrayal was so complete. So yes, I know what it is to love a human. All the muck and mire that's darkening your heart right now, it always ends this way. Damn.
I had planned to step in and deal with her myself when she inevitably turned on you, but... Stop talking! I understand it's not the picture I've ever presented to myself, to you before. You think that's you absolute hypocrite! What could there possibly be for you to teach me? There is something I want to learn from someone who sets their child up to be sacrificed just to teach them a lesson. I could not deny that for description of my actions, however. That's fair, that's all you have to say. What about, I could have done anything differently? If you're truly all about history repeating itself, then you know. I think that Dahlia was nearly killed because of the same empty belief that your Anka had. Something that could have been cleared up long ago if you hadn't insisted on keeping the folk isolated.
She's done far more wrong than I have. She's right, she doesn't deserve to call any of this realm home. Yet I'm the one who can't get far enough away from her. I don't care where I go. There is nothing left for me at all in the wood. Maybe I'll fly west to the mountains, or see for myself how far the ocean stretches. See if I keep making the same mistake somewhere there is no fog at all.
Naira, where have you? What's that you're holding in your talons? Flowers? But that doesn't look like a bouquet. Oh.
They're far full bloom. How long ago did Ilse and I make this crown? What was she planning even then? But she's the only one who could have sent this back to me. It has to mean something. Something is stuck between the two of the strands. A note.
Morgaine, please let me explain. Meet me in the grove this evening. No weapons, no magic. I meant as much of what I said to you as I thought that I could. If you can believe that, please come.
Mother was betrayed and chose war, isolation. I'm not her, I won't be. I've still got some of Ilse's flowers in my hair.
Naira, fly this back to her, please. I'm coming for you one more time, Ilse! Please!
Please have a reason to give this all a purpose.
I'm here, Ilse. If you are to please just show yourself. Ilse.
Oh, Morgaine.
Ilse, where are you?
Morgaine, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I don't see her at first. She's standing halfway in the trees and hanging her head down. She asked me to come, but can she not even stand the sight of me? Except it looks like there is something in her hands. Something dark.
Kriemhild made me to do it. I only thought it right to bring her back to you.
Her hands cradle Naira's limp body. What? And when I move closer, I can see that my friend's head is snapped at an unnatural angle. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Some phantom sensation prickles down my spine, through my wings. I use them to partially fly here, but they're still so new. Alright, I'm saying let's go to war. Why didn't I realize how similar they look to Naira's? Kriemhild made her do it, she says, but can I believe that any more than...
Give her back to me. Go on and explain what you want. You didn't make the greatest entrance.
Alright, well, there's no easy way to say it. Kriemhild, I aren't any two ordinary humans. Our father is the king.
So I've been swooning over royalty this entire time. I overheard Creamhill call her princess, but...
He's obsessed with the fire and your magic. When I was born, he even meant to offer me up as a changeling, but my mother died giving birth to me. She made him swear that he would raise me and Creamhill as an ordinary sisters. I don't know when exactly he started to plan it, but several months ago, he told Creamhill that if she wanted to succeed him on the throne, he had come up with a task for her. She needed to venture into the forest, the last domain of the once mighty fire, and bring him some proof that she had met and bested one of you. I know why she wanted for me to come along. Our relationship was better when we were younger, until around when I was 9 or 10, and then something changed about her. Maybe I seemed less of a child by then. She's always treated me like a sister, but she'd kept me at arm's length for years by that point. I said I would go with her, in part because I missed her company, but also because... well, a kingdom only has so many uses for a spare hair. I'm 18, and I hold no illusions about my father's plans for me. My mother was a countess from a land north of here, and I can serve just as much a return on some of our other alliance, but I don't want it. I want... love. When we arrived at the cottage, Creamhill took after our father quite well. She pored over centuries of journals and accounts of the fire, said she did to plan her cursed affection down to the last detail. Except 1 month turned into 2, then 3, I almost got the sense that she was stalling. Even for one thing I'd never known her to have is nerves. And then I had a thought. Father issued the task to Creamhill, but could I alter my fate if I somehow...
But what about your bruises? You don't have to defend Creamhill anymore just because she's your sister.
All of them from her training me to fight. She's a hard teacher, pragmatic at fault, but not cruel. But training her would have been much easier if she were cruel.
Yet you still do it.
You don't understand, you're going to live forever. You have magic, you literally have wings. Me, I play research assistant in the forest for a few months, watch my sister hesitate at the thought of ruling a dark realm, and then have a lifetime to look forward to of being married off to some strong duke or princess. I mean strange duke. Acting before Creamhill could is the closest chance I've ever had in my life to saying no to that.
And what was I then, huh? How long were you batting your eyes at me while planning how you would slit my throat? Did you ever consider I could have helped you?
How, Morgaine? Please tell me how. I'm too old now to be a changeling. Would your plan have been to keep casting that glamour on me every single night, and hope nobody ever realized I was a strange face, or wonder why I didn't use any magic of my own? Faces, Morgaine. There is no world for feelings like ours. And you don't know what cruelness you showed me, make me hope that there might be one.
So that's it. We shared a few kisses, went against every rule and instinct that's been pounded into our manners, and now we just leave it all here. Take it from someone who ruined her own first love, Ilse. If any of this was real for you, you're going to spend the rest of your life remembering this grove and these words we're saying now. And every time you do, you're going to be the Ilse that you are now all over again, screaming at her from the other side of whatever choice you think you're making to choose something else.
Creamhill told me something else too, after he thought over what I've done. She said there's a way that I can make it right for both of us.
Both of us? What can that possibly mean? I don't see whatever shoots out of the grove until the intrusion of something in my body that shouldn't be. Are you kidding me? A tug on my shoulder, except more like it's connected to my shoulder, and it's only when I try to flex my wings that pain erupts.
All that talk about how much I hesitate, but it matters once the crossbow is in your hands. That's enough talking things out, Ilse, and don't go begging me for any more time.
Whatever she shot through my wing, impinged to that tree Ilse got me in front of. It's no pain like I've ever felt before. The wing almost feels disconnected from the rest of me, until I try to pull free again, and every bit of skin, muscle and bone that's been pierced through holes trying to heal itself around the object and failing. When I squirm and then spasm more, when that widens the entry wound, wet warmth trickles down my wing, clamping through the feathers in its path. I tried to lay my hand on the tree trunk and breathe, but no, it's like before, when I was completely powerless. Pain is supposed to be a felt sense, but this thing that's torn through my skin and split apart muscles, stealing my hearing and my sight, It's through a haze of screaming nerve endings that I see Kriemhild press a familiar dagger into Ilse's hand. Are you kidding me?
Take all the time you need. That crossbow bolt is made of the same stuff as this dagger. Go on, Ilse, just like we decided. 2 trophies for that dear old father of ours, and then we share the throne. Ka.
Kriemhild, I just think I already took my trophy. Shouldn't you be the one to...
Even after our heart-to-heart, you don't understand the lesson here, Ilse.
I try and thrush again as she takes the hand of Ilse that's holding the dagger and jerks up to the level of my throat. The pain is only getting worse, the rest of my body responding to a delayed call of an alarm now.
There is a sense that one of us knows very well, and words has been sheltered enough to never know. It's your turn to look someone you love in the eyes and try to lose a bit of yourself over them.
I don't want to do this again, Kriemhild, no! Morgaine, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
But then, that sense, Ilse described heralding me all those times we met. I feel it this time. With an instant, a sound builds through the wood, rising like a clamor of out-of-tune birdsong into a roar. The tree I'm pinned to rattles and my body with it, and that wave of pain tearing through my wing. I feel the eyes of the oldest trees aligning me in their sides, and I'm nothing. It's all announcing that Mother is herself. The wood exhales her in a great gasp, and with a stride towards us and a swipe of the claws lengthening from the hand. Ah! Let's go!
Ilse! No!
She's already falling as she tries to bring her hand to the gouges, Mother carved in her neck. Let's go! Actually, I move to try and catch her. The joint that connects my wing to my body screams, and this time I hear some internal part of me squelch against the crossbow bolt pierced through it. I jerk against it, trying to stretch my hand to Ilse. Why? Honestly, at this point, why would you care about her still? If I'm free of this bolt, I can use my magic again. I can save her.
Why would you do that?
Devastation, it turns out, feels a lot like a wing being ripped from my back. Through the killing in my ears, the sound of it is almost like ripping fabric, ever determined pull to peel flesh from flesh and tendon from meat. It doesn't come off all the way. The mangled wave of it slams from me, pulling me down. Sideways I fall towards Ilse. And...
Morgaine! You killed my sister, Ilse!
Good.
All the hundreds of humans you've killed, and you had to save my sister!
Yes, unfortunately it was not you yet. You deserve death as well, god damn it. If Mother weren't riding around me, I don't think I would see it for the pain. The first bolt takes her in the thigh, but even that doesn't stop her. She lunges for Kriemhild like she did at Ilse. And the second bolt tears through her chest. Something twinges in my breast, maybe sympathy. She's finally feeling the same hurt as me. Her hands even go to try and pull it out as she slowly sinks to her knees. It's not until the cushioned hood of her legs hitting the ground that a dark shape which can only be Kriemhild moves closer to her.
Hey, Ilse!
Mother is gasping something out even now, although I think it's to Kriemhild. Coming all the way here to save her hopeless daughter, and then only having words for her would be murder. I guess she and Kriemhild speak violence better than me, for.
At least we're going to die in this grove, right? We won't ever have to wonder what happened to the other. It's us in this place, right until the end.
Only I don't feel it when Mother dies, or maybe she hasn't yet, when the sewing noise starts. How are you not going berserk at this point, to be honest? I keep my face pressed to the sweet-smelling red and white flowers it's fallen against until I hear the crack of her horn breaking loose. Until I hear Kriemhild exhale and then make a sound that's barely anything at all. Something that withers and dies halfway out her throat, and then her footsteps turning and running away. Pathetic. Heaving myself through the flowers separating us, I make it to where Ilse fell. Blood is still spurting from her neck, but she's as drenched in it already as Dahlia was. She tries to say something to me, but...
It's alright, I know.
And I think I mean that I'm content with this. Let whatever is left of the folk find their leader and her daughter dead at the edge of the wood with a human girl lying between them. Let whatever history comes from it guess to this moment, however it will. I shift on my side to press Ilse's body to mine before I close my eyes and... Through all the consuming pain from my crippled wing, I small pressured my hip. Lights through. That's right, I have all my gathering supplies with me. The same supplies I had on me at the ravel. And those flowers I just dragged myself through, whose petals scraped off all over me. Red and white. It's like they bloomed as soon as I was free of the crossbow bolt, when my magic was unblocked and my hands cushioned my fall.
Hold on just a little longer, Ilse.
I rolled my back, nearly screaming when the half stump of my wing falls even more unnaturally over itself. But the scream might draw Kriemhild back to finish the job she thinks is already done. My hand rummages through all the pouches and pockets at my hip, long enough for me to think maybe I just made a prayer out of some stray pebble, when I feel the tempered glass of my vials. What did Mother do next, as she hovered over Dahlia? I brush as many ammonium petals from my clothes into my other hand as I can, mashing them between my blood-soaked fingers, half the pulpy powder it creates into one vial, half into the other. At least there is no shortage of blood. And yet, some repulsion still stops me when I know what has to come next. When I take the vial from the weakening trickle from Ilse's neck and try to bring it to my mouth. Mother was right about this magic. I barely know what I'm doing, and feels uglier than anything else. I worked. Ilse and Kriemhild's sobs playing amplified in my head while I pictured the pale arc of her throat opening beneath Mother's clothes over and over again. I press a kiss to her wound first, then turn her head enough to kiss her properly. I think she tries to help me.
There. Now history's made puppets of us both.
And I choke her blood down as I feel her heartbeat start to fade. It feels like a block of ice melting in my core, the insistent agony of my wing reaching a new level of fever pitch. Only dwarfed by the growing cold that is Ilse's little remaining life flashing through me. I writhe in the ruins of our garden, my back arching as I try to find any way of easing the pain. This time someone fails to not cry out, for I'm beyond telling whether it's me or Ilse, making one last grasp towards life. Either way, when I bring my blood... Either way, when I bring my blood to her lips, she knows what to do. The connection between us snaps tight. I'm responsible for it. I have to be. And try to breathe for both of us, to guide her suddenly, violently shuddering body to somewhere a little less close to death. Her breathing picks back up, a moment of her lungs working double time. Her eyes flutter shut, and her head lolls against the grass with a laughing gentleness. But I've done it, and I can feel her like I've opened up her chest and put my beating heart right beside hers. She's only asleep. If I was asked how would I even tell our story? Once upon a time No, that just feels wrong. I've tried not to think too long on it for a long time. Well, Ilse, perhaps I should start with right after. It's never felt right. Hiding you away in the bedroom I never use. But it was the only place I could in those first days, where none of the folk would dare to go looking for answers. Or vengeance. Will it ever stop being strange, thinking of myself as the last of the folk, even if it was a choice of mine to wear this mantle? The rest of us departed for parts unknown to me, at least. I asked Dahlia not to tell me where, so that I wouldn't be tempted to follow. I think because we owed each other debt, she didn't question my reasonings. It's for the better that someone stayed behind anyhow. Too much old magic sunk in the trees and gets its hands on you humans. All sorts of odd things can happen with a custodian for it. Those refugees who came from the south last month might be putting down roots here. It's a whole standing village after all. I can't say it won't be strange watching the lungs breathe again. There's a child among them, a year or two younger than we were when we met. I would say she seeks me out. I can't say I don't appreciate her company. I think she's trying to put in good words for me with the rest of their people. The optimism of Yauf. I'd forgotten how it felt. Do you ever hear me at all when I go on and on to you like this? I remember something Dada told me about while she was under the sleeping spell. That she wasn't quite there in a way that you feel time when you're awake. But anyone who talked around or to her were the intervals of dreams. And yes, there is some significance to the day-to-day. 56 years since that sister of yours took the human throne in the north. I know if maybe Mother's horn did hold some magic that extended her lifespan this long, or if she's just that lucky. Or unlucky perhaps. I felt every one of the years since that 90s growth. I have to wonder how she does. Whatever Mother's final curse to her was. I'm sorry for a lot of things about this, Ilse. Another year when I thought I'd have woken you up by now. But for as long as Kriemhild is alive and on the throne, she has to think that we both died with Mother. If she ever heard word that I remained, or that you were at my side besides that child. Have you ever heard what she calls me? A guardian. And what kind of guardian will let her charges be trampled on by some princess retrieval squadron sent by the infamous Queen Kriemhild? And I'm sorry that I haven't touched you in all these years. It's not how I want to think of you, holding your limp hand or leaning over lips that barely even pass breath between them. It's knowing that I've always been here, standing watch enough. One day, Ilse, soon, I can feel it. When the world that the cruelty of my careless love made you hope for has finally taken shape. When that last reminder of the boundaries dividing folk and humanity is no more than a faint memory, and all that we are is Morgaine and Ilse. I couldn't stand to hurt you anymore by bringing you back before then. I once thought, like all the folk, that we don't dream how humans do. But that's what I picture every time my mind wanders, or just when I close my eyes like now. I don't desire for anything more than to laugh with you in a field of flowers again, and sing nothing but songs of love that don't end in despair. I'm sorry, Ilse, but can you sleep for just a few more days? Can you sleep and dream of all my love? On wings bringing sleep. So that's what the title is about. Created by Studio Nekomata. Oh! For the Studio Elan Dandelion, a variety game jam. Wait, did I read about the jam incorrect? Or is Studio Nekomata inside of Studio Elan? Story by Rose Crowned. Art by Dakuma. Directed by Lexi. Programming by Tio Minute and Lexi. Fire Consultation by Fairytale. Oh. Music by Kamaboko Sachiko, Queen Chao, Heitaru Ashibe, Shimtun, and Mayoko. Sound effects by David Bain, Ego Massif, Aderu Momo, Kangbild, Enrasm, Kubodup, Vero Maranger, and Rokuma. Backgrounds by Alex Grotkiewicz, Ayako, Michael Graham Pengeli, Mark Fairhurst, Les Haynes, Nilo Isotalo, that's a lot, Stephen Wilcox, Tonmoy Iftekhar, Yuri Orlov, Annie Spratt, and the US Bureau of Land Management. Thank you for reading the tragic tale. We hope to one day return to Morgaine and Ilse and to tell even more of their story. But until then, sleep well. What a story. So in a way, Morgaine has in a way she repeated the story of her mother, I guess. At least with falling in love for human. I'm kind of surprised for that she... I mean, obviously it's a game, so it's possible, but... Overall, I'd be surprised if someone would still hold on to feelings like that for someone. After, you know, literally having one of their own... I guess stabbed in the eye. Actually, maybe there was more than just the eye that was stabbed, so yeah, but... Maybe she was stabbed other places, but the eye was taken as a proof, and that's it, right? Still, ugh. That's actually now that I think about it, that is a really gore imagination that I've described. Definitely a gore scene. That aside for, you know, after still being basically put in a situation where you can get attacked by the other one. I mean, and then also, you know, getting shot and the other one is still, you know, like about to finish you off. I mean, at this point, I do not understand how she's still kind of held on to her love. I mean, I feel like at this point, like, if it was me, I would probably snap. I would just, you know, let my Polish language out. That's for sure. Yeah, that's how it would be. That's definitely how it would be. Well, hopefully that will never happen. Hopefully that will never happen in such a situation in general. It's a good game for. And to be fair, you can see in-game the reality as well. Everyone being so negative towards each other. It's crazy. It is crazy. But dude, like that inside Studio Elon jam? What the heck? So far, 2 out of 2 bangers. That's for sure. 2 out of 2 bangers. That's already giving us, you know, 2 out of 4 games being good. So that's interesting. We have 2 more to play. Hopefully I'll manage day after day. That will be pretty cool, not gonna lie. That would be cool, yeah. But yeah, I guess I'll end it for today. As per usual, I'll link to the game in the description. You can go and download it yourself as well and so on. You can also go to like Studio Elon's each profile and get yourself some other games. You can also get some of them on Steam, in case you are more interested in Steam than each. Which in a way, I guess, is understandable. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Oh yeah, I was actually curious. I have not checked. Let me check quickly right now. What Studio Elon game have I played? Because I definitely played something. I have Highway Blossoms, yes, I have it, but I have not played it. I need to play that game eventually. Oh, The Waters Above Prelude, that's what we played, that's true. Yeah, I remember that one. I don't think we played any other free games that are on Steam from them. Without a Voice, I have it, but I don't remember playing that. First Snow. That sounds familiar. No, I have not played this. I Told You So, also haven't. Who is the Red Queen, also have not played. Dude, there are quite a few free games as well that I should play from them. Oh, it's also from 4Nokia as well. Interesting. Dude, to conclude, I still have a ton of games that I need to play. I need more time! Someone extend the day, extend the human capacity to not sleep, and definitely do not extend the time that humans have to work, and I'll be able to record more. Yeah. Anyway, this one was another banger of a game, that's for sure. Studio Elon knows what they are doing, basically. Or should I say in here, Studio Nekomata. I don't know how it works at this point. Is it maybe not just inside of Studio Elan people, but like also like other possible indie studios that in some way collaborated with them? Maybe. I would need to find that post again. And it's rough because each is, goddammit, kind of a pain to find something. Okay, let's... Yeah, I can't find this. Whatever. Actually, maybe... Oh, each of these games were made as our internal game jam. Okay, so that was a short post. I mean, in the beginning I kind of understood this as like maybe each person has made stuff, but clearly from what we've seen, it was not exactly like that. And there were multiple people working on one game. So I think I can assume it's like also kind of studios that worked with Studio Elan in general. Yeah. I think that's how it works. Anyway, to not keep you any longer here, I'm gonna say consider liking the video and subscribing. That's always super appreciated. Watch out who you fall in love for, maybe. That's important. And have a wonderful day. Hopefully I'll see you in the next game. Bye bye.